What's going on? Shalom, everybody. Peace and blessings. What's going on, Set Apart Gardens family? Man, once you come in, man, drop a comment in the chat. Hashtag Black to the Land. Put something in the chat when y'all come in. Man, I just want to chop it up with y'all today, man. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately and really just been, man, you know, a lot of stuff just been coming into my mind lately, man, that I want to share with y'all. But we're going to talk about skills and how skills are a form of wealth. Now, when you come in, man, just drop a comment in the chat. Let me know you in here. Hope everybody having a good day. Good Monday. I know this weather been crazy, man. It's been up and down. It's been getting cold, boy. What's going on, family? I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get in. We're gonna talk about some skills, man. And hey, shalom, shalom, Isaiah. What's going on, brother? Shalom, man. Thank you for tuning in. We just talk about skills today. We talk about skills and how skills are a form of wealth. Skills are a form of wealth. You got all different kinds of wealth. You got all different kinds of all different forms of wealth. Shalom, G-Mon. How you doing? How you doing? Shalom, everybody. Yeah, man. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But yeah, so skills are wealth, right? And so we're gonna talk about, some of the best skills to have and why it's important that we have skills. And we're just gonna chop it up. But I was talking to one of my battle buddies, one of the guys that's in my unit, because I had a military drill this weekend. We were just talking, man. We were just talking about, a lot of stuff that's going on in the world now, and how he's becoming self sufficient, because he has about an acre of land he lives on and stuff like that, and he was talking about this concept as far as like pretty much they him and his family, they're trying to get away from a lot of the processed foods and stuff like that, and they're starting to garden and they're starting to get into more holistic living and self-sufficient living. And so, like I was telling him in this conversation, right, I was like, I used to be real big into prepping, and I still am to a degree, with prepping and stuff like that, just in case things happen in the world. We obviously see what's going on. We saw what happened with COVID. We see what happened with a lot of these wars and rumors of wars and different things that's happening. And so, that led me to want to start preparing and storing food and stuff like that, and start becoming self-sufficient. That was one of my main goals. So like I was telling him, right, I was like, I understand a lot of people, they invest a lot into prepping, a lot into storing food and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, one thing people have to realize is that when you storing up something and then that event finally happens, you have that reserve, but it only depletes when you start tapping into that reserve. It only depletes. There's nothing coming in and allowing it to be like a recycle type thing, like where you bring something in, you take something out, you bring something in, you take something out. that's how you keep that's how you keep your supply built up, by bringing something in. But if you're only saving, then when that time comes, that's all you have is what you saved. And now, when you tap into that, you're only going to deplete until you have nothing left. So, what I say is, in addition to preparing and storing and stuff like that, learn skills that will translate over in that situation, right? So, yes, you'll have a reserve of food and, water, whatever the case may be, but you'll also know how to raise your own food. You'll also know how to harvest your own food. You'll also know how to harvest your own water, different things like that. Peace, fam. D Jones, what's going on? Shalom. Peace and blessings. That's what I'm working on, keeping my herbs supplied up. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing, in addition to, whatever you prepping, like say you saving food like rice or whatever the case may be. Have seeds as well, in addition to that. And then also start learning how to do things like build, start learning how to, lay bricks, start learning how to, butcher animals, start learning how to, do all of these different things, these skills. You see what I'm saying? Because skills are a form of wealth. You know, people, people who have skills will never be poor. You know what I mean? People who know how to survive, people who know how to, whether it's work on cars, whether it's build, whether it's farm, whether it's garden, those people, whether it's fish, hunt, whatever, they'll never be poor. And like I was telling my battle buddy, the guy that's in my unit, I was like, man, in a scenario where, the world goes haywire, if you got a weapon, rifle, bow, whatever the case may be, shotgun with ammunition, fishing pole, tools. You know what I mean? And something where you can harvest water and skills, man, you'll survive because you can fish, you can hunt. You know what I mean? You can harvest that hunt. You know what I mean? And also seeds, having seeds. If you got seeds as well, you can garden. You can grow vegetables. Another skill as well that a lot of people don't realize that can be valuable is foraging. Foraging is a very underrated skill that people overlook all the time. And it's something that I'm kind of learning myself. But I'm pretty sure there's books and stuff that'll teach you a lot about it. But you got to think, man. A lot of times, slaves, what they would do, they would forage. You got to think, especially when they runaways, when they running away and they trying to escape the freedom. What were they eating? They were foraging. They were probably hunting. They were probably fishing. They were doing all type of things to survive. But mainly, they were foraging. They were eating a lot of different things that a lot of people don't know that's edible. That's in the woods. You know what I mean? Those are skills. Those are survival skills. And those skills are wealthy, are a form of wealth. You see, you have precious metals like gold, silver. You have precious stones like diamonds or emeralds or rubies or whatever the case may be. And then you also have stuff like oil. You have stuff like land that are all wealth, forms of wealth. But skill is a form of wealth that a lot of people don't think about. Muhammad, shalom, family. Yeah, a lot of people don't think about it, man, because this is the thing. Somebody can lose everything that they own or they had, all the wealth they've accumulated. But if they have the skills, they can always go regain it back because they have the knowledge and the skill and the know-how of how they got that wealth, how they achieved those things in the first place. You see what I'm saying? It's cranberry juice, y'all. But yeah, that's in these times that we're living in, it's time to not only go and learn new skills, but also to sharpen your existing skills. So if you're a shepherd now, start sharpening your skills. With that, if you're a butcher, start sharpening your skills with that. If you're a hunter, sharpen your skills. If you're a fisherman, sharpen your skills. If you're a mason or a carpenter, sharpen your skills right now with foraging, all these different things. You know, let's look up some other skills. Fire making. That's one that slept on. First aid. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, because we're so used to going to doctors whenever we're hurt. But in a situation to where, the world as we know it goes away, there won't be no such thing as no doctor's trip. You're gonna have to learn how to survive on your own, pretty much, with the knowledge that you have. So it's good to know first aid. It's good to know remedies. It's good to know how to treat certain things. You see what I'm saying? It's good to know CPR. It's good to know these skills. It's essential, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we should be sharpening our skills right now. We should be seeking new skills that we can learn for survival. Because we got to think, man, we lost a lot of these skills over these, decades that we've migrated away from the way our ancestors lived. Because you got to think, man, a lot of our ancestors had these skills. They had this knowledge intuitively because they were in tune with nature. They were in tune with the world. They didn't grow up in concrete jungles. They didn't grow up under AC and fake lighting. They didn't know. They grew up, in the elements. They knew the elements. You see what I'm saying? And it's time for us to get back into learning those skills that they possessed. Like, like for instance, right? My granddaddy was telling me, like say back in the day, right? Before you could get like a tetanus shot, right? He said, what people would do, like say if you stepped on a rusty nail or something rusty or whatever, he said they would take a piece of pork fat, with the skin on there, and they would put it over that wound, and they would tie it on there, and then what that pork fat would do is it will extract out all the impurities. You see what I'm saying? Just like stuff like that we don't know nothing about. You see what I'm saying? But that's a form of wealth. Yes, we might have to use it for survival, but if we don't have to use it for survival, why not learn it so it can be a form of wealth? You see what I'm saying? Like, think about a lot of these YouTube channels, that have, you know, gained a mass following, that have gained millions of subscribers based off of the skills that they had. Look at Deer Meat for Dinner, for example. The man know how to hunt, fish, do everything. Guess what? He maximized it and profited off of it. Led Farmer 73, with gardening, fruit trees. You see what I'm saying? Homestead Heart with homesteading. A lot of these different, you know what I'm saying? Their skills have allowed them to maximize on those skills and profit off of those skills. You see what I'm saying? And it can even and it may not even have to be on YouTube or social media that you could profit off of it. You could just profit off of, just selling your services or selling your knowledge. Because a lot of people don't realize is people pay for knowledge. Why do you think people have these conferences all the time? All they're doing is selling knowledge. These business conferences, these different, work conferences and all these type of things. People are selling knowledge. They're selling the skill set. That's why it costs to go to school. That's why you don't go to college for free. You got to pay because if you're going to be learning a skill set, you have to pay for that. So the same way you're paying to learn from somebody else is the same way somebody else can learn from you, and you can profit off of that as well. Or even if you just want to bless people with it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of things that you could do, but having the skills or having that skill set is what's going to make you wealthy. Even if it's just you providing for yourself and doing those things for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Doing those things for your house, for your land, for your property, for your family. Because guess what? It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you a lot of things. But we have to gain these skill sets, man. We have to look at it as a form of wealth. We got to look past this dollar, man. We got to look past, oh man, everybody talking about chasing the bag. You shouldn't be chasing the bag. You should be chasing true wealth. You should be chasing something that's actually tangible. Because this is the thing. The dollar is only as good as the resource that backs it. It's only as good as the resource that backs it. You see what I'm saying? The dollar wouldn't be nothing without oil. The American dollar, that is. It wouldn't be nothing without oil. It wouldn't be nothing without gold. It has to have something that backs it. You see what I'm saying? So we have to look past the dollar and look at the actual form of wealth or the actual resource. Now, skills aren't a resource, but they are a form of wealth. You see what I'm saying? The knowledge, man. The knowledge of how to do things. Like, man, I'm telling you, people who know how to work with their hands real good, man, they will always have a job. They will always, and if they don't have a job, they can make a job. You see what I'm saying? If they don't have a job, they can make a job for themselves because they possess the skills. They possess the skill set. You know what I'm saying? A construction worker, he might not find a construction job, but guess what? He can do things like general contracting and make money like that, handyman stuff. You see what I'm saying? Shalom, shalom, Miss Rhonda. Yeah, we just talking about skills. What's some other skills, right? I already talked about hunting, not tying. That's a good skill. Foraging, um, trapping animals. That's good. Shelter, shelter is another one. Learning how to build shelters because the elements they will kill you. You see what I'm saying? You know, but gardening, that's a skill that we should all. I feel like that should be a basic skill that everybody learns is how to garden. And I feel like once upon a time it was. And once upon a time it was a that was like a basic, like you knew how to plant and grow stuff. Because you got to think, man, back in the days, almost everybody had gardens. Almost everybody had gardens in their backyard. Almost everybody kept chickens or turkeys or whatever the case may be. Almost everybody. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like gardening should be one that, you know, because in a situation where, God forbid, things just go haywire, go wrong, you got some seeds, you'll be able to survive. Because when you plant those seeds, guess what? The fruit or the vegetables is going to produce more seeds, and you continue growing and growing and growing. You continue feeding yourself. Couple that with foraging, where you can go out and you can forage some things as well, and then knowing how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's small game, big game, whatever, knowing how to hunt, and then knowing how to fish. But we got to learn these things. God first, always, y'all. Memphis, Tennessee, saying shalom, family. Shalom. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, we just country life. It's a Tennessee thing. Yes, sir. Shout out to Tennessee. But these skills are a form of true wealth. I just wanted to put that in y'all ear, man, because I was as me and my friend were talking. I'm like, man, don't get me wrong. You want to prepare. You want to store. You want to have a storehouse. But guess what? You don't want to rely solely on that, because if you do, then once it's depleted, then you're gonna be looking crazy because you didn't take the time to learn. Another thing, start buying books about um homesteading, farming, foraging, hunting, fishing. Buy books on these things because guess what? If the internet crashes, at least you'll have a hard copy of an instruction manual. Because you got to think nowadays, what do we do when we have a question? We Google it. Oh, or we YouTube it. How to build this, how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So in the absence of Google, YouTube, the whole internet platform, it's good to have hard copy books. I got books on butchery. I got books on, just self-sufficiency in general, gardening, keeping this kind of animal, that kind of animal. It's good to have those. It's good to have books on those things too. Is even though you can go on YouTube and learn it in 30 minutes or 20 minutes or however long, that's good. That has its place, but we have to think beyond, this digital world, because this the thing. This digital world may not always be in the future. It may not always be. Just like it wasn't it at once upon a time in the past. This is a new thing. This is a new concept. And to put your trust and rely in this way of life, you will be setting yourself up for failure. To think something can't go wrong, something can always go wrong, right? And it's not a doom and gloom type thing to just kind of have this negative, pessimistic mindset. No, but it's about having a real balanced mindset. You want to be balanced. You want to be balanced in your thought process. It's good to think positive. That's good, but it's also good to think about the possibilities of what could go wrong, because things go wrong quite often. You know what I'm saying? So have those physical books that you could go reference. But most importantly, you want to have it in here. You want to retain it in here. And it done got dark quick. But you want to retain it in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Retain it in your mind. That way you could always do it. That way you could always do it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we see many examples of it. We see many examples of skill sets. Let's look at Jacob or Jacob, in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? He when it came to raising sheep and goats and things like that, his hands were blessed to do it, to the point to where, even when he made a deal with Laban, he still prospered because he knew how to do certain things. He had the skill set. And guess what? It allowed him to acquire more and more, into his flock, which was wealth. That was wealth. He was wealthy when he left Laban. He was wealthy. That's why Laban didn't want him to leave, because he was making Laban wealthy. Jacob was. He was making Laban wealthy. And Laban like, nah, man, I can't afford to. You know what I'm saying? I need you to continue to work for me. No, but that man had the skill set. He had the skills. Same thing with Joseph or Joseph. You see what I'm saying? He was able to interpret dreams. And he was able to tell Pharaoh what was going to happen. And as a result of his skill, which was given by the Ruach or the Holy Spirit, right? It made him wealthy. And it also made his family wealthy. It also made his family wealthy because they were able to come and live in the best parts of the land. You see what I'm saying? They were blessed throughout Joseph's life or Joseph's life. But the skill set is what we need. The skill set is what we're lacking. We all about chasing the bag. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn this light on. I think that's a little better. Yeah, but we all about chasing the bag, man. Don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with getting money, but guess what? When you got the money, but the money ain't worth nothing because the whole system as we know it ain't no more, then what you gonna do then? People always talking about chasing the bag. Look past that. Look past that dollar, man. Because you got to think. We take the money, we take the currency, and we go and we work a lot of times in these jobs that don't give us any real life skill sets. You see what I'm saying? And we trade that for the money, for the currency. We take that currency and we go and buy things or basic necessities from other avenues. You see what I'm saying? We go and buy it from everybody else. We can't even produce it ourselves. How are we wealthy? Even if you got $1 million in the bank, but you still have to go and get your basic necessities and basic things from everybody else other than you, other than your people. That's not wealth. That is not wealth. Hold on, somebody pulling up. Who is that? Hold on, y'all. Is that the mail? I think that's the mailman. Yeah. Man, I live out in the country, man. Don't just anybody be pulling up in my driveway. I'd be like, who is that? Oh, we good. That's the mailman. Running late. But yeah, we gotta look past this. We gotta look past this dollar. We gotta look past this chasing the bag. Everybody wanna, get money and buy all these things. They could buy these, mansions and cars and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, all those things are depreciating in value for the most part. For the most part, those things are depreciating in value. And then on top of that, you still don't have any real life skills. You don't have any real life skills to do anything. You see what I'm saying? At least learn how to fish. At least learn how to hunt. At least learn how to just start a little garden or something. Keep a few chickens. At least do that. Because I'm telling you, in the long run, you're gonna be thankful that you did, that you learned it. You're gonna be thankful. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, because those things are a true form of wealth. Man, when you can feed yourself and feed your family, and you can make sure that they safe and protected and out of the elements, man, I'm telling you. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's not. It's not, because a lot of people, because we've gotten so far away from it. We've gotten so far away from it as a people, as a nation. You got to think, man, other parts of the world, those people have those skill sets. As it's like a foundation type thing. They still can go on and be doctors, engineers, whatever the case may be. They still go on and do those things and be lawyers. But guess what? They still have those basic skill sets. As a matter of fact, right? It's this guy that's in my unit, right? And he's from Kenya. And he's from Kenya, right? And he me and him got to talking and stuff like that. And he was just telling me about his upbringing, like, yeah, in my village, in my tribe, like the young men, they keep the goats and they keep the cattle and the sheep and things like that. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, we grew up hunting, because they like his tribe is like kind of hunter gatherer, where they still hunt, different things like that. And I forget what tribe he was from, man. Dang, I forget what tribe he was from. But anyways, he was saying that that when he grew up knowing how to do all those things. He said it's a certain way that we butcher the animal. He said, growing up, we would have to, tend to the flock. Growing up, we would have to plant this, we would have to do that. So basically, all the kids growing up already grew up with skills of self-sufficiency in their culture. Granted, they might not have had a choice, but still, it was a way of life. And you can see that all throughout all different kind of cultures that aren't influenced by the West. You see what I'm saying? That aren't influenced by capitalism, that aren't influenced by this system that we live in, this capitalist society, right? You look at people in India, you look at people in certain parts of Asia. Those people, they grow up with the skills. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you ever been to like a Asian person house, but they got plants everywhere. They backyard, they got a garden back there, all type of stuff. Even if they live in a suburban neighborhood, they still got stuff that they're growing because they grew up already knowing how to do those things. And they understand, like, this gonna help with the grocery bill. This is a good skill to have. And this is it's a way of life. It is a way of life. You see what I'm saying? And that's how those people live. They still go and fish themselves and go catch their own fish. They don't go to the fish market a lot of times. You see what I'm saying? Because they understand the value in having the know-how and having the skill. But I'm telling you, if because you might work a 9 to 5, right? You might not have a lot of money coming in, but guess what one thing you can do today to start attaining wealth is learning and growing new skill sets. You see what I'm saying? Because you can learn how to go out here and do some landscaping. You can start with your house first, and then guess what, you can get paid for that. Just landscaping, just knowing how to work the land, you can get paid for that. Or even I mean, it's just to keep your house in order. You see what I'm saying? Learning how to grow things out in the garden that can save on your grocery bill. Learning how to keep a little, flock of 5, 10 chickens in your backyard. Guess what? You saving on eggs now. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get, some goats or whatever the case may be, milk, cheese, butter, you saving. You see what I'm saying? And you have the knowledge up here that you can convert to money by either selling it, you see what I'm saying, or by putting it to work. But if you want to start building wealth, the first thing that you can do right now, even if you don't have the money, is start learning the skills. YouTube is free. Anybody who has a cell phone or a computer or a tablet, they can log on to YouTube and start learning right now. YouTube will teach you how to build a house. YouTube will teach. Matter of fact, okay, I give y'all a perfect example. I know I ain't the only one that be watching these kind of videos, but y'all be seeing them little Asian dudes over there. I think they live in like Indonesia or something. But they be like having their little sticks and they'll be beating in the ground. Then they'll be building like mud houses, but it'd be like mansions. It'd be like, you know what I'm saying? They build a pool in there and all, just with little sticks. They just, you know, and it. I know it take them a long time, but still, man, look at how they've turned their skill set into profit. You see, because they start making videos, YouTube videos about it, because people like to see stuff like that. They like, man, this is crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm telling you, man, it's if you want to start building wealth right now, start learning skills. You can learn how to work on cars just from watching YouTube. You can learn how to paint your whole house watching YouTube. You can learn how to DIY. I mean, DIY. Come on, think about it. Man, I ain't gonna lie. YouTube taught me how to fix a washing machine. YouTube done taught me how to do certain things on my car, on my truck. You see what I'm saying? YouTube taught me everything I know pretty much about homesteading and farming, right? YouTube and books has taught me all that, right? YouTube will teach you finances. YouTube will teach you just about anything you want to learn. How to harvest rainwater, how to fish, how to hunt, how to do this and that, how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, YouTube will teach you how to cook. YouTube is free, man. Ain't no reason why you shouldn't be sharpening skills, you know, in this day and age, especially while you have time. Because when you don't have YouTube, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when you don't got YouTube and you don't got Google? You see what I'm saying? And you ain't bought the books and you ain't got the skills. What you gonna do when you trapped inside a concrete jungle and you know it's a purge going on? Excuse me, God forbid. But these are things that happen, right? Look at what happened in Venezuela with the collapse. Look at what happened. Man, them people was breaking in the zoo, killing the animals and eating the animals in the zoo. And guess what? We wouldn't be able to do that because we ain't even got the skills on how to harvest the animals. Most of us don't. Them people knew. Them people in Venezuela, they know how to survive. They have those skills. So they was able to, you know, I mean, hey, they was getting it how they live. You know what I mean? But how you gonna get it how you live when you don't know how to get it? Come on, man. Think about it. Think about it. And this the thing, like, I know people think like, well, you know, well, this person in my family know how to do it, but that's one person though. You see what I'm saying? And that person gonna be trying to focus on surviving himself or herself. You can't rely on people. We've gotten too accustomed to relying on people, to relying on the government, to relying on these corporations, to relying on this job that pays us. We've gotten too accustomed to that, to the point to where we're at their mercy. I mean, yeah, we're at their mercy. You see what I'm saying? They control your whole life. If they tell you to do this or do that, you're gonna have to do it because you ain't got a choice. You ain't got no choice but to do it. Because if not, you don't eat. The basic necessities that a human being needs is water, first and foremost, food, and shelter. If you can't provide those three things for yourself, that and clothing too. You see what I'm saying? But if you can't provide those three things for yourself, man, we in trouble. You are in trouble if you can't provide those three things for yourself. That should be the foundation. That should be the foundation. Learning how to acquire skills and doing those three things for yourself. And I'm not saying overnight you're gonna just be automatically providing all your basic necessities. Because again, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot, especially when you got a job and you so invested in this system that we live in. You're not going to be able to do it on the scale that you want to do it on. You're not going to be able to do that. I understand that. I'm not able to provide 100% of my food right now because, again, like I work a job. I, got all type of stuff going on, military, just a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm getting closer and closer. I'm inching into it. Hey, love you, brother. Tom Hatfield, love you too, brother. Shalom. I'm inching and getting closer and closer to that point. You see what I'm saying? That I am providing, at least 80 to 90% of what I ingest or what my family eats. You see, because it takes time. It takes time not only to get the skills, but it also takes time to do the preparation for it, whether you farming, whether keeping animals, whatever. It takes time to prepare, it takes time to raise, it takes time to harvest, and it takes time to prepare it, to cook it, to even put it in your body. All that takes time. It's a process. But we live in an instant society, and that's what has messed us up. That we live in an instant society to the point to where we expect it to just come like this, like it don't come like that. It takes time. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes sweat. It takes blood. It takes patience. It takes frustration. It takes anger. It takes a lot of stuff. It takes a lot of stuff, for you to just be able to acquire certain skills and do certain things for yourself. It takes a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? It's not instant. It doesn't just come like that. It's not microwavable. You got it's not even, you put it in the stove. No, you got to start the fire. You got to go get the wood. You got to go get the firewood. Then you got to start the fire with the firewood. You see what I'm saying? You got to make the pit to do it. You see what I'm saying? When you're trying to when you're trying to become self-sufficient, it takes all of that. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. But guess what? When you do have those skills, then you'll be able to survive forever. And that is a form of freedom. Not only is it a form of wealth, but it's a form of freedom as well, because you're not dependent. You're not dependent on anyone or anything that has to do with your longevity. You're not dependent on anyone or anything. That's true freedom. That's true freedom. That's wealth and that's freedom. When you could say, you know what? I don't need this job. I already got, this, that, and the third going on. You know what I'm saying? I manage my resources properly. I manage my money properly. I paid off my house. I paid off this, that, and the third. Not only that, I got my homestead or my farm built up. I got enough animals. I got enough, food growing. You know what I'm saying? I got enough this, that, and the third. If I need to make money, I can do this to make money. So I don't really need this job. I don't really need this, whatever the case may be. That's freedom when you can do that. But then when it's like, well, they telling me to do this and I don't really want to do this, and this goes against my morals or it goes against that, but you ain't got no choice but to bend, because it's like, man, without this job, I ain't gonna pay my mortgage or my rent or this or that and the third. I don't know how I'm gonna eat, so I gotta do it. I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta sell my soul. And we should be tired of selling our souls, because that's what we're doing. We always talking about celebrities. We always talk about celebrities and how they sold their soul, and they Illuminati, they sold their soul. Do you know what your soul is? Your soul is your mind, will, and emotions. Your soul is your likeness, right? People sell that every day to corporations. They sell it to the government. They sell it, to social media. People sell their souls literally every day. They sell their mind, will, and emotions every day. You see what I'm saying? It's a price tag on a lot of people's souls. They don't control they don't control their mind, will, and emotions. A lot of people they sold to this device right here. You see what I'm saying? This controls them. Their job, whatever the case may be. So we gotta get tired of selling our soul. We gotta get tired of being in bondage. You see what I'm saying? And actually experience true freedom, which is the ability to sustain yourself without any help from any external source. That's true freedom. That's true wealth. That's the first step in wealth. And then guess what? You can start acquiring more things. You can start acquiring the land. You can start acquiring the money, the monetary. Excuse me. You can start acquiring those things. But the first step should be gaining a skill set and gaining the knowledge and the know-how. And then when you experience that true freedom, and then you experience that true wealth, then it'll start, coming in monetary gain or what everybody, how you used to seeing it with the money in the bag coming in and all this stuff. You'll start seeing it then. But we got to experience that freedom. You know what I mean? And that's for everybody. That's myself included. You see what I'm saying? Especially in these times, man. And really, it's becoming urgent, right? It's becoming urgent. Now, I'm not one of them doomsday people, right? But I'm just saying, like, the future is uncertain. You see what I'm saying? The future is uncertain right now. We don't know what's liable to happen. We already got one war going on. We just don't even much know. We got, these different, people at the top and they doing all type of, I ain't gotta say it, but y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what's going on out here. So it's kind of an urgent thing. It's kind of an urgent thing. And I know most of y'all are already doing this stuff, but hey, this is for the person who hasn't even started doing it, who might just see this video. Like, bro, I'm telling you, just those three things: food, water, shelter. Learn those things. Learn how to do those things for yourself. Most people, a lot of people come in already kind of knowing something about one of those elements. Like I didn't grow up, knowing how to farm or butcher or build or nothing like that. But I grew up knowing how to fish. That's a start, right? So in addition to knowing how to fish, all right, start learning how to hunt now. Start learning about weapons now. Start learning how to put a seed in the ground now. Start learning how to, keep this type of animal. If you eat that. Now, if you vegan, learn how to grow your own vegetables. Learn how to grow what you ingest, right? If you're vegan or not, learn how to grow what you ingest. If you eat a lot of chicken, learn how to grow chickens. If you eat a lot of beef, figure out a way that you can either get with the local farmer or that you can grow your own beef. If you eat a lot of lamb, turkey, whatever the case may be, learn how to grow those animals and raise those animals, or at least learn how to harvest those animals. At the very least, you see what I'm saying? But man, that's all I want to chop it up with y'all about is the skills. The skills are a true form of wealth. Hey, shalom, your house portion. Shalom, family. Shalom, family. But yeah, the skills are the true form of wealth, right? We always look at the dollar, we always look at this and that, but the true wealth is in the resources, in the land, and in the skills, in the skill set. Because guess what? You can acquire land, but if you don't know how to utilize that land, is it really valuable to you? Now it's valuable on its own because land is the only thing that they don't make more of. Shalom. Land is the only thing that can't be mass produced. It's only a limited amount of it, right? So that off the top makes it valuable. And it's only going to appreciate in value over time. But you can have, 100 acres and you don't know how to grow a tomato. You don't know how to grow doggone peas. You don't know how to grow corn. You don't know how to grow nothing. Y'all don't let the plant catch up, but you are kicking some serious knowledge here. I have been missing working with my hands, nothing like feeding yourself, building shelves, making knives, etc. Making knives, making weapons, making tools. See, that's another thing, man. Like making weapons, making tools, all those things are valuable. Because guess what? In a trade and barter society, you have things like animals, you have things like tools, like weapons, you have things like vegetables, fruit, spices. All those things are valuable in resources. Honey, all those sugar, salt, all those things are valuable and can be traded and bartered. What's some good advice for chickens in the winter for a first timer? That's a great question, your house person. I appreciate that. So for chickens in the wintertime, well, it depends on where you stay at first and foremost, right? So I stay in Georgia. So the winters aren't too bad. Well, I stay in coastal Georgia. So the winters here aren't too bad, right? It don't snow, for the most part. It don't snow or nothing like that. So my chickens, they straight and they cool. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they got, hay in there or straw, something that'll keep them warm, something that they can get away from the wind, like a little laying box. I use like the little laundry bins, and I just cut a hole in it, and that's where they can lay their eggs. They can go in there. You see what I'm saying? But you want them to be able to have a place to where they can go to where it's dry, and they can get out of the wind and the draft and stuff like that in the wintertime. Um, a lot of people like to get fancy, put heat lamps in their chicken coops and stuff like that. But just make sure they got like straw or hay and different things like that that can keep them warm and keep them out of the wind, keep them out of the rain, keep them out of the elements. Oh, you in the Midwest, so it get real cold in the Midwest. Yeah, it's all about how you build your chicken coop too, because see, me in Georgia, I can get away with building a little, flimsy little chicken coop I just throw together. But in people in colder climates, I definitely suggest uh insulating, building some sort of insulation in your chicken coop. You see what I'm saying? To the point to where your chickens will have some warm if it gets, you know, below zero. You see what I'm saying? If it gets below zero. And then you can also put a heat lamp in there, run the extension cord. I don't know how far your chicken coop is from your house, but you can run the extension cord, put a heat lamp in there and something, because you got to think, right? The ground is gonna get cold. The ground is outside from the air and stuff like that. The ground is also gonna be cold. So you want to make sure you have some hay down or some straw or whatever that they can keep warm, but also have a place that's insulated that where they can go in and get some warmth. And if you want to be fancy, add a heat lamp or something to heat them in there. My wife keeps putting pine shavings in, but the chickens are apart 4 months. Is this all right? Pine shavings is all right, but for the winter, you want to have something to where like I said, you want to have some straw, some hay, to the point that they can stay real warm, but also a place to where that they can go in and get away from the winds and the elements and get off of the ground. So that's why I would suggest, if your chicken coop isn't insulated, you might want to think about insulating a portion of it to the point that could be the place where they go in and that they can huddle in and get warm. Oh, no problem, no problem. His Rose, Shalom family, welcome His Rose. Yeah, so that's what I would say, and also think about getting the heat lamp, and putting it in a portion to where it's insulated. They can go in and they can get some sort of warmth and get out of the cold. But dang, I forgot what I was saying. That was my train of thought. But anyways, those skills are what's important. Thank you and your wife for all the wisdom you guys share. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, family. But back to Stephen or Stephen, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, family. But you brought up a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. As far as making knives, making building shells, just building in general, learning woodworking. That's something that I've been kind of learning over the course of years. And I ain't saying I'm no expert. I ain't even saying I'm intermediate or nothing like that. But I can slap together a structure that an animal can live in, that a chicken can live in, a turkey can live in, that sheep. Like I can build. You know what I'm saying? I can build something to the point to where it's livable. I would say that. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to wealth and resources and different things like that, like I was saying, it can be spices, it can be honey if you know how to beekeep. It can be vegetables, it can be fruits, it could be eggs, it could be meat, it could be a live animal, it can be smoked meat, it could be fish that you catch, it could be deer that you've hunted. It can be all these different things. You could trade services, you could barter and trade, because that's what basic economics is. It's a trade and barter system. It's a trade. That's what we do today. Even with the currency is just the token of the trade. It's the, hey, this is worth $10, right? And that's worth what I'm buying from you. You see what I'm saying? But without that token or that currency, what you could say, okay, well, I got $10 worth of honey and I want to buy $10 worth of meat. So let's trade and let's barter it. But you got to have some sort of resource to back it. You got to have some sort of resource to back it. Do you or anyone selling chicken, like chicken meat, or like just chickens in general? I was selling chicken meat at once upon a time, but I only do it for, like, nowadays I don't sell it retail. It'll be like, I grow it for a specific family, but I don't sell it retail. But it's a trade and barter system, and when you have something to trade and barter with, that's wealth. That's wealth. You can even say, okay, well, I can do some work for you in exchange for this, right? I can come over and butcher. Yeah, hit on like this, family. Appreciate it. I can come over and butcher, 4 goats for you in exchange for, I don't know, vegetables, or this, or some salt, or some honey, or some spices, or whatever the case may be. That's what people did in antiquity. Oh, live chickens. Um, Go to McMurrayHatchery.com, Meyer Hatchery also. They sell chickens. They can ship them to you. I personally don't have live chickens for sale at the moment, as I'm building my flock still. I'm starting to hatch my own eggs, so I'm trying to get to a point to where I can sell chicks, or at least fertilized eggs. But I'm still in the process of learning, so I don't sell live chickens. I'm trying to build my flock up. I'm trying to have enough to the point, where every month I can pull from my flock, if I need to eat or whatever the case may be. But McMurray Hatchery is a good place, and Meyer Hatchery is a good place that you can go and order live chickens. You can order what specific breed you want, how many you want. You can do all of that on there. You can order turkeys too. You can order pretty much any type of poultry you want. Whether it's guinea fowls, quail, and that's another thing too. I'm finna get into quail. I'm finna get into guinea fowl. All those things. I want to learn how to raise all those animals, all those different type of poultry. But having that trade and barter system, you got to have some sort of wealth. And if you don't have the actual physical resource, if you got the knowledge on how to do certain things, then you can trade that. You could trade services for whatever you need, whether it's food, whether it's a place to stay, because that's what a lot of people would do too. They would have servants, people, and that's what the Bible talks about when it's talking about slavery in the Bible. It's really talking about servitude. And a lot of people, what they would do is, if they had a debt, they would work to pay it off, but they would have to have some sort of skills to work. Because how could you work without skills? You see what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people would do. So that's another way. You know what I'm saying? And then, even back in the days, people would have, people who would live on their property, and they would kind of probably manage the farm and different things like that in exchange for a place to stay and food to eat and money and all that type of stuff. What was the name of the company? McMurray. Hold on, I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat. McMurray Hatchery. And then you also have Meyer Hatchery. And they will ship the chicks to you. They will ship it to you, like overnight it pretty much. They'll ship it to the post, your nearest local post office. They'll ship it there, and then you just have to go pick it up from there. Pick them up. You can also go to Tractor Supply. You can go to any of your local feed stores. I know now it's kind of, we're in the winter time, so I don't know what their availability looks like, with chicks and stuff like that. Um, but definitely try them. And on a website, it'll tell you if they have availability. But yeah, y'all, you know, just think in terms of trade and barter. Think in terms of that, because like I said, you might not have the physical say, oh, I'm gonna trade you 7 sheep for 2 cows. You might not have that, but what you could say, okay, what I can do to buy that sheep off you, I can build you this, or you know, I can lay this, I can lay brick for you, or whatever the case may be, or I could just be a handyman on your property. What? Oh, I need a place to stay. Okay, well, I'll oversee all the operations on your farm, and I'll butcher this or that. Just bringing value at the end of the day. That's what wealth is. It's value. Anything that's valuable, from knowledge to, like I said, precious metals to precious jewels to oil to spices to honey to anything that's valuable, that anything that's of value. You can trade it, you can barter it, you can capitalize off of it, and you can build wealth from it. So that's all I got, y'all. I just wanted to drop that on y'all because I was just thinking about it, man. Like I was having that conversation with my friend, and I was like, man, I'm like, bro, literally, that's all you need. You got a fishing pole, you got a rifle, you know how to hunt or a bow, you got some seeds, you know how to farm, you got knowledge on how to build, you got knowledge on how to harvest water, whether it's digging a well or harvesting rainwater or filtering water from a water source. You'll be good. You'll be good. But it's gonna be so many people in that time who won't know any of these things. And as a result, they're gonna result to trying to take, they're gonna result to starving and desperation or just being at the mercy of the powers that be. You see what I'm saying? And doing whatever they tell them to do. That's what's gonna happen. A lot of people, especially, when panic sets in, when people start realizing, like, man, I probably ain't gonna be able to eat no more. I probably ain't gonna be able to eat for a while. When panic starts to set in, it's gonna be some bad stuff that happens, especially in a lot of these concentrated areas that, like, excuse me, like take New York City for example, right? Not upstate New York, but New York City. Literally, there's no farms to sustain these people who live in the city. There's nothing to sustain them in that city, right? Everything is imported. Everything is imported, right? When crap hits the fan, imports stop. Maybe you should start showing your skills that can help us in the long run. Absolutely, shalom. That's what I'm doing, family. Absolutely, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm showing y'all how to as far as what I know right now. You see what I'm saying? I'm showing y'all what I know right now, which is how to butcher, which is how to raise chickens, turkeys, pretty much any kind of animals. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of livestock. I'm showing y'all how to raise your own sheep. I'm showing y'all how to garden. You see what I'm saying? And giving y'all the information and knowledge that I have. And as I get more knowledge and information, I'm gonna continue to share that with y'all. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I was saying, a lot of these places where it's import only, man, when those imports stop, people ain't gonna know what to do. It's gonna be bad things that happen. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be in that predicament. You don't want to be in that predicament. That's why you gotta start learning how to produce. And you learn how to produce by gaining skills and knowledge. But you know, buy books, buy hardcover books talking about gardening. Potatoes seem to grow so easy. Do they grow? Yes, potatoes actually grow well in the winter. Absolutely, potatoes grow well in the winter. You can grow potatoes year round. Potato is a staple crop. Potato is a staple crop. You can grow it any time of the year. And what I do, what me and my wife have done is we've got, like, big tubs, or big containers, filled with dirt, and then you could plant the potato starts in there, and you can grow them in tubs. You can grow potatoes in tubs. You don't have to necessarily have the ground or the land to do it. You can grow them in tubs as well. They also got things. They also got potato bags where you could buy off Amazon, where it's a bag where you could grow potatoes in. but potatoes grow very, very good. They grow easy too. Yep, and they will grow in the winter. I have chickens. I want sheep and goats. I'm not handy at all though. I understand, Miss Rhonda, because I'm not really handy myself. I just have learned a little bit over the course of years. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't know, this is the thing, right? When it comes to homesteading, when it comes to farming, I enjoy doing everything but building stuff. I hate building stuff. I hate it. I just kind of halfway know how to do a little bit of it, but I hate it. Like, if I could have bought a farm where it had all the structures built, I'd have been perfect. I would have been perfect because I know how to keep the animals. I know how to, do this, that, and the third. But when it comes to building and being handy, oh man, you know. But at the end of the day, it's something that you got to learn. It's something that you got to know. It's not going to be convenient all the time. You're not going to always like every aspect of it. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people I know don't like to kill animals and butcher animals. But guess what? It might not be your favorite part, but you must know it because if it's depending on your survival, you're gonna have to do it. You ain't gonna be able to go just pick it up off the shelf no more. You got to do it. So it's better to know it and hate it than to hate it and not know it and not even attempt to do it. You see what I'm saying? Because it may come a time when your life depends on it. Pray that the Most High get me out of the city. Yes, family, I will definitely pray for you on that. Yes, and even while you in the city, family, just start trying to do what you can. You see what I'm saying? See if it's a community garden that you can go and volunteer at, or a farm, a local farm that you can go and volunteer at. You see what I'm saying? But yes, most definitely, I definitely suggest people get out these big cities, or at least try to. Hey, if you got the means to own something in the city, but also own something in the country as well, do that. But man, I'm telling you, because these cities is gonna be the focal points of where a lot of different bad things are gonna happen if God forbid, if it all goes haywire. When should I be worried about my chicks aren't laying eggs? And thank you so much for your cooperation and teachings on farm life. Most definitely, family. So you said, wish it. You should be worried about chickens not laying eggs in the winter. I mean, you shouldn't be worried, but that's what's gonna happen in the winter. Your chickens ain't gonna really lay eggs like that. But are you asking like basically when should you be worried as far as they're getting older in age? Like if they're not laying by like 5 months old or 6 months old, are you saying that? Because different breeds of chicken, they take different amounts of time to reach maturity to start actually laying eggs. Agree. I'm learning to cure my own beef bacon. It's much cheaper than buy. Man, I want to learn that, Miss Rhonda. I want to learn how to make my own bacon, my own, lamb bacon, turkey bacon, or beef bacon, because I know it is much cheaper than buying it from the store. And in addition to that, it don't contain all those different preservatives and nitrates and nitrites because a lot of this meat, a lot of this bacon and sausage and hot dogs, a lot of this meat that we buy, it has things like nitrates and nitrites. Look those things up. Nitrates and nitrites. Those things cause cancer. They cause obesity. They cause a lot of different diseases. So when you're doing it on your own and you're curing it on your own, you cutting out all those chemicals in the process. So yeah, you're saying okay. So basically, what age should you be worried? It depends on what breed you have. It depends on what breed you have. If you have an egg laying breed and they're not laying eggs, and they've reached maturity 5 6 months, then yeah, you should be worried. But at the same time, it could be a lot of different variables. It could be the weather. It could be um it could be that they're not mature yet. It could be that you might have a rooster. You see what I'm saying? But you'll know if you have a rooster because he'll start making noise after a little while. They got lamb bacon. I didn't know that. Yeah, you can make bacon from lamb. I mean, think about it. They make bacon from turkey, right? How do they make turkey bacon? They probably grind it all up and they form it and then they cure it, right? You can do the same thing with any kind of other meat. But lamb, right? Because bacon comes off the belly of the animal. And with lamb, you can take the lamb belly and you can make bacon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do it. But I'm just saying lamb bacon because I actually like lamb. Like lamb is like one of my favorite meat. That and goat. Lamb and goat meat is my favorite meat. Shalom, family. Locks and Land Homestead. Shalom. Welcome in. Thank you for tuning in. We were just talking about skills and how skills are a form of wealth and how we should be sharpening our skills if we want to not only become wealthy but also to survive. But yeah, when it comes to your chickens not laying eggs, it could be a lot of different variables. It could be a lot of different things that's the reason why they're not laying eggs. It could be that it's not an egg laying breed or a heavily egg laying breed. So just do research on the breed, when their maturity is, and when you should be expecting them to start laying eggs. But but yeah, uh, I forget the term that my friend was talking about, but basically, oh, that's what he was saying, getting closer to the table. So that means cutting out a lot of the middleman as far as with our food, right? And like Miss Rhonda just said, she's she's learning how to cure her own beef bacon. So she's cutting out the middleman. She's cutting out a lot of different preservatives out of her food. Not only that, she's cutting out a lot of different steroids that might have been pumped into the meat. She's cutting out a lot of different things, because you got to think, when you buy, okay, I'll give you an example. When you buy a tube of ground beef from Sam's, right? Because they got the big tubes, right? You don't know if all that ground beef came from the same cow. That could be two, three, four, five, six, seven cows, all different cows with that ground beef that make up that ground beef. That could be all different kind of breeds of cow that come from different farms, that come from different parts of the country, all in one tube of ground beef. Not only that, each cow could have had a different upbringing. Each cow could have been exposed to different elements and different type of chemicals and different types of things. But they just lumped it all together and sold it to you. But what you can do to alleviate that is you can go to your well, outside of raising your own, you can either go to a local farmer to try to source some meat, or you can go to your local butcher shop or your local meat shop. You can buy a chuck roast, or you could buy a thick cut of beef, and you can grind it yourself. Matter of fact, I showed y'all how to do it with turkey. The last the other video I just made about how to put organic turkey in your freezer. I went and bought a turkey alive, of course. I butchered it myself. I killed it myself. Plucked it all that, and I broke it down. And guess what? I put the meat. I deboned the meat. I put it in the food processor, and I blended it up, and now I had ground turkey. But let's say you don't know how to butcher a turkey, or you don't, that's something that you don't want to do. Go buy a whole turkey from the grocery store or from a meat market. Break it down yourself, debone it yourself, and you can grind the meat up yourself. Now you have ground turkey that at least came off it came off the same animal. You see what I'm saying? It was only one animal that it took to grind this turkey up, and it's not 17 turkeys that make up one tube of ground turkey. At least you know that much. And you also saving money as well. Because you probably most times you're gonna get more ground turkey for what you paid than versus if you buying the ground turkey, right? So you could buy a whole turkey, let's say for $17-$20, right? Versus you going to buy ground turkey where you only get like a little tube like this, and you paying $5-$6 for it, and you got to buy, you know, 6 of those to pretty much fulfill your needs. Versus you can go buy the whole turkey itself. You can cut it up, debone it, grind it up, and you'll get more than what you would get from the tube. So just different things like that. You know what I mean? Um, just cutting out the middleman when it comes to a lot of these different type of things. Starting to get away from more processed foods. You know what I'm saying? And getting more into more whole foods. You see what I'm saying? That way you can at least know that you're putting something whole in your body, and that you're not giving your body something that has all type of different agents in it that's not digesting properly, and you got different things in you know, that in your body that your body don't agree with. You know, that's just some things that you can start doing right now. But yeah, family, you know, I just want to chop it up with y'all about that as far as getting our skill sets together, especially in these times, man. Now in the wintertime is the time to really start learning this stuff because a lot of stuff is slowed down. You know, it's getting cold outside. You know, everybody at this point, you know what I mean, in the house all the time, and you know, it's just slower than the spring and the summertime. Now's the time in this season to start learning and to start sharpening your skills. This is the time to start knocking out projects on the farm or the homestead, you know, or in your backyard. You know, start to build your raised bed garden. You can start your compost pile. You can start doing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But now's the time. Now's the time to start sharpening those skills so that, you know, we can actually acquire wealth, but also we will have some sort of um surety in our future survival. You see what I'm saying? So, and that way we can experience freedom and not be dependent on others. But yeah, family, that's all I want to come to y'all and chop it up with y'all about. I appreciate y'all in the chat. And like I always like to say, if you get somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Shalom.